Greetings, fairy tale lovers. It's me again, Scarlett Cole, here to talk about the Kingdom of Fairytales. Hopefully you've had a chance to read Goddess of Flames, which came out this Wednesday, the last installment in Azia's story and season 1. Hopefully you loved that amazing ending and you're super excited to continue the journey with Azia through the Kingdom of Fairytales into the next season with Blaise. If you have been reading along, please include your comments below because we'd love to hear from you and know what you thought of the story. Now, we're going to be traveling all the way to Atlantis and going under the sea with A Little Mermaid Season 2. The Little Mermaid was one of my favorite fairy tales when I was a kid growing up, and I still maybe have a little bit of a crush on that Prince Eric. Whew. Except this time, we're going to be joining Blaise, Princess of Atlantis. But she's not exactly how you remember things from the original fairy tale. In this story, not everybody wants to go under the sea, and as you will find out in book 1, our Princess Blaise is actually part of the Anti-Mermaid League. Haters of all things with fins. But a chance encounter with a merman might just change her mind. However, you're going to have to wait until Wednesday to pick up Queen of Mermaids to start that story with us. This story also begins our series of guest authors. What that means is that every book is actually written by J.A. Armitage and another author. In this case, it will be Audrey Rich. Now, I've had a lot of comments on social media about how this guest author thing actually works. So I decided that maybe in this video, we can talk a little bit about the process and how the whole series came to be. As much as I would like to say you just take a pack of talented authors, mix in a little bit of fairy magic, and poof, you have 52 books. That's not exactly how it works, although I really wish it would. Our journey starts at the end of 2018, when the lovely ladies at Enchanted Quill Press decided that they wanted to take on a huge fairy tale project. But this project would take a huge amount of authors and a lot of patience. So in the beginning of January 2019, they started recruiting some fantastic authors to put together a group that they could work with. All of the authors were given a small amount of information in terms of what the commitment would be and what the general project entailed. Once they whittled down who could actually commit based on their writing schedule, that's when the fun started. J.A. and her crew at Enchanted Quill created every single world and every single main character for the entire series. They doled out outlines, character sketches, and a map of the entire world for everybody to see. Once all of the authors were introduced to each and every character, they had the choice of ranking their top 3 favorites. I believe every single author received somebody in their top 2 favorites, so everybody is writing somebody that they absolutely fell in love with. Then this is where the work got even harder. Each outline that was provided was only a loose interpretation of how the story should go. There were certain points like where the story needed to end and a few details that from the other books that needed to be included, as well as a few physical traits or magical abilities that needed to play out for the entire series. But each of the guest authors was given carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. They could introduce new characters, they could create creatures, and they could do all sorts of wonderful things that they wanted to do in these stories. Once all 4 were completed, they were returned back to J.A., and she spent a lot of time rereading them, making sure they fit with all of the other stories, and making any necessary changes so that the entire plot would flow all the way through all 52 books. Any other major changes were discussed with the authors, and they fixed those up before sending them to our fantastic troupe of beta readers who have read every single book to ensure that we have no plot holes, no major problems, or anything that would stand out to a reader. Without them and their tireless effort to help us out, we would be completely lost. Once the beta readers were completed, then J.A. would go back through the manuscript and make sure that any changes or anything that was noted by the beta readers was picked up before the final copies were sent for publication. And that is how we have a co-written project over 12 seasons that ties together all the way through. Each character will have a unique voice that will be representative of the guest author that was helping out with that season, but will definitely be in line with the story and the same quality of books all the way through the entire year. So you have nothing to worry about. You'll be getting excellent stories from all of these authors, and I recommend that you definitely try them out. So hopefully that answers the question for the reader that had asked me that on social media. But if you ever have any questions about the series or the books or anything that you would like to be answered here or on Facebook or Instagram, you can always tag on the posts that are out there or include in the comments below. And we will definitely make every effort to answer any questions that you guys may have. After all, we want you to come along with us. And if you aren't enjoying the journey, then it's definitely not worth it. All of these authors put in a ton of hard work, but we've done it for you, the readers out there. We really hope that you enjoy the books and that you enjoy the adventures that we're taking you on. So if you're a fan of The Little Mermaid, make sure you're picking up Queen of Mermaids this Wednesday to start Blaise's 4-book adventure. And remember, even though the story spans 52 books, each 4-book set can be read standalone. So if you don't want to commit to all 52, that is okay. You can just read The Little Mermaid or Alice in Wonderland or Beauty and the Beast or whatever you want. Obviously, the best experience is going to read them all, but we do understand, and that's why it was written the way that it was. The seasons allow you to jump in and jump out as you please. All right, fairy tale lovers, that's it for me today. But like I said, grab the book on Wednesday and start the Queen of Mermaids journey with Blaise. And if you have any comments or anything to say about Azia, include it below. If you don't mind, you can also leave those great comments as reviews on Amazon because they definitely help to make sure that other people get a chance to read these books by giving them more exposure. And if you'd like to see more of me and the other authors from Kingdom of Fairytales, make sure that you're subscribing. There's a subscription button right below, and right beside it is a little bell. Hit both of those and you'll get an email every time we upload a video. Now, I hope you're excited for next week because we're going to meet that guest author, Audrey Rich, and talk more about her books in this series. Happy reading, fairy tale lovers! Until next week!